Today, we're going deep inside hostile territory for a high-stakes rescue mission. This is the story of one of the most incredible operations in modern military history, and it's a mission where just about everything that could go wrong did. You see, it all boils down to this one simple but powerful code the US military lives by. Leave no man behind. And they mean it. They will literally move heaven and earth, send in dozens of aircraft and hundreds of operators just to bring one person home. And that is where this story gets absolutely insane. It's a mission that just cascaded into one crisis after another, a desperate battle for survival where the rescuers themselves ended up needing a lifeline. So how did this whole mess start? Well, it all kicked off with a single tactical moment. An F-15E Strike Eagle is on a mission, trying to take out a high-value target, when suddenly it finds itself in a fight for its own life. Okay, picture this. It's 2:15 in the morning. The jet is screaming through the valleys, staying super low to hide from enemy radar. But here's the problem. To drop its bunker buster bomb, it has to pull up. And for just a few seconds, it pops up over the ridge, breaking the radar horizon. That's all the enemy needed. A mobile missile system, hidden down below, gets an instant lock. Bang! A missile slams into the aircraft, and the pilot and his weapons systems officer are forced to eject into the pitch-black mountains. And this gives you a perfect idea of the tactical nightmare they were in. Stay down in the valleys, and you're pretty much safe from the big long-range radar systems. But the second you poke your head up over a ridge, you're sitting duck for all these smaller, hidden air defense units just waiting to set up the perfect ambush. It's a deadly game of cat and mouse. Now, the pilot actually gets recovered pretty quickly, but the weapons systems officer, the WSO, he is not so lucky. He's wounded, he's alone, and he's stranded in this incredibly rugged terrain. But his training immediately kicks in. Despite his injuries, this guy hikes 2 miles and climbs a 7,000-foot ridge just to get a signal out on his radio, all while dodging Iranian militias that are already swarming the crash site. So as the first rescue mission gets going, things immediately get way more complicated. An A-10 Warthog that was providing air support gets diverted to protect the rescue forces. And this is where the mission really goes from bad to worse. So the A-10 takes on this new role called Rescort, which is short for rescue escort. Its job is pretty simple, really. Use its massive 30mm cannon and all its firepower to keep the bad guys away from the rescue team and the downed pilot on the ground. And man, it does its job perfectly. As an Iranian convoy closes in, the A-10 comes screaming in for a low-level strafing run and just obliterates the threat. But, and this is a huge but, that aggressive move comes at a serious cost. The noise, the tracers, it gives its exact position away to another enemy hiding in the shadows. And what was that hidden threat? A MANPADS, a man-portable air defense system. Basically, we're talking shoulder-fired, heat-seeking missiles. As that A-10 banks hard after its attack, bleeding off speed, an Iranian soldier on the ground takes his shot. The missile locks right onto the engine's heat signature, and at this low altitude, the pilot has absolutely no time to react. So now the A-10 pilot manages to eject, but the dedicated rescue helicopters flying in to save him fly directly into another ambush. As they approach his location, a hidden anti-aircraft gun just opens up on them from a concealed position. This situation is just pure chaos. One of the helicopters takes a ton of fire and is forced to crash land. The rescue mission has suddenly become its own fight for survival. But luckily, an F-35 was loitering high above in stealth mode. It gets the call, drops a single precision bomb, and silences that enemy gun. The crew from the downed chopper makes a mad dash to the one remaining helicopter, which, now dangerously overloaded, barely manages to lift off and get everyone the heck out of there. Okay, so with multiple aircraft now down, the main priority is still our original F-15 WSO wounded and hiding in the mountains. To save him, U.S. forces need to buy time. And that's when the CIA gets involved with a brilliant deception. This is straight out of a spy movie. They launch this huge disinformation campaign inside Iran. They start leaking rumors through local networks that the WSO has already been found and is being smuggled out on the ground. This whole phantom operation works perfectly, sending Iranian forces on a total wild goose chase, miles away from the real extraction site. This deception buys them the window they desperately needed. And what happens next is one of the largest and most complex special operations rescues ever even attempted. A massive airborne assault just to get one man out. Just look at the sheer scale of the force they pulled together for this. this wasn't just a rescue, it was a small invasion. You've got Reaper drones providing eyes in the sky, growlers to jam enemy radar, a whole fleet of transport and assault helicopters, and gunships to provide overwhelming fire support. All for one person. And here's the part that is just completely nuts. To stage this whole thing, U.S. forces secretly fly into Iran and set up a temporary base. Yeah, you heard me right. They land on this tiny, abandoned agricultural airstrip deep inside the country and turn an empty field into a U.S. staging ground. So the operators reach the WSO up on the ridge, but the Iranians have figured out the deception, and they are closing in fast. What kicks off is this massive, hours-long firefight. The operators have to set up a tight perimeter, and they're taking fire from all sides, while air support just rains down on the enemy. But back at that secret airstrip, disaster strikes again. Just as everyone is getting ready to evacuate, two of the big transport planes have critical failures. They can't take off, and the value of these aircraft alone, well over $100 million. With Iranian forces racing towards them, the commander on the ground has to make a tough call. And this really proves that leave no man behind ethos. He calls in airstrikes on his own planes. They completely destroy the disabled aircraft, leaving nothing but charred wreckage so that no secret technology could fall into enemy hands. This entire saga, this whole chain reaction of disasters, revealed a really critical lesson about modern air combat. It's a lesson that was learned the hard way when one of the F-35s providing support was hit. And the lesson is this: stealth is not the same thing as invisibility. See, here's the problem, right? The F-35 is designed to be a ghost to radar. Its shape, its special materials, they all give it a tiny radar signature. But it's powered by one of the most powerful fighter engines ever built, and that engine produces a massive plume of heat, which makes it a glowing, obvious target for infrared sensors. And that is the F-35's Achilles heel. See, modern air defense systems use something called IRST, or infrared search and track. These are passive sensors. They don't emit any energy, they don't shout, they just watch. They scan the sky for heat. And what that means is they can detect and track a stealth fighter without the pilot ever getting a warning that they've been spotted. Which leaves us with a final, really big question. This whole operation, from a single downed pilot to a massive international incident, it really highlights the razor's edge of military tech. As stealth gets better, so do the sensors designed to find it. It's this never-ending cat-and-mouse game where the stakes are human lives. And it just makes you wonder, in an age of advanced sensors, can any technology truly make a fighter jet invisible?